and welcome to Monday live stream. Today, I want to talk about deepening into the dark part of the year. So I'm going to explain what that means in a second, but hi, Karen. So I hope everybody's in the US is getting ready for a good Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays because it is I love gratitude. I love gratitude practices. I think it's super important, and I feel like it really helps people stay in like an abundance mindset instead of like a lack mindset. Hi, Raquel. Say hello when you come in here, because if you're not on my friends list, it's not going to tell me, to be honest. And what's really cool about Thanksgiving, I feel like Thanksgiving is kind of like the gateway holiday to actual winter time. We make all this delicious comfort food. We are getting ready to, we're like just, it's the beginning of the holidays. And hi. And we kind of start, hi, Meg. Like getting into the darker part of the year. So I want to talk about really quickly. So this is called deepening into the dark part of the year. So I want to speak really quickly about what I mean by the darkest part of the year. It's not just about like the increasing amount of night, which a lot of people think is like the darkest because the darkness lasts like the longest up until solstice. So from the summer, I'll be back at you. I also am tired. I worked late at my day job, so I literally just got home. So it's not just about the increasing amount of night, from the starting at the summer solstice, the amount of daylight that we get starts to wane until the winter solstice. Like the equinox, at the equinoxes, we have an equal amount of light and dark. So when it comes time for the winter solstice, it is it's like the most amount of darkness that we're going to get. But I'm really talking about like the dark part of the year, like the actual like winter time. It kind of, to me, it refers to the amount of clouds that are in the sky. We've got snow. Well, you might have snow and I might have rain, which would be very exciting, but we do have clouds that block out the sun, and we do kind of have an earlier darkness once we come out of that daylight savings time. It's like that winter time like vibe that we get, like where we want to light a fire in the fireplace and cook some comfort food, and we kind of feel our energy change a little bit at this like shift of the year. Especially if you have like depression or anxiety or other mental health challenges, you might find that it might be more challenging. You might have that seasonal affective disorder where you feel just super depressed. So I want to talk about harnessing that dark time, this darkness, this winter time, and kind of aligning ourselves with that time in order to kind of give ourselves room to grow. So the Earth's power flow at this time is like getting ready for sleep, getting ready for bed. That's what the Earth is doing right now. Animals will begin to hibernate. Wintertime probably kills off all of your plants. Hi, Mary Cal. Hi. Now I want to wave at everybody, Meg. So it's time for hibernation. Your garden might have started to die off if it's not already completely kaput. And like, especially with our bulb plants, and I want to talk, if you do any gardening, I don't do a whole lot of gardening. I did for a while. I have been, unfortunately, too wrapped up in other things to really start a garden this year. But when we bought these like bulbs, like I've got calla lilies that grow outside this window right here, and it's pretty exciting because they all just die, and you're like, oh, and it's like nothing is there because it's like legit dead, nothing. And then come February, we have these sprouts that just start to come up like magic. Like, hey, I'm dead. Just kidding. I'm reborn. So the Earth's energy is kind of doing that. It's getting everybody ready to like die or take that deep rest, that deep repose in order to kind of come back in the spring, come back at the beginning of the year for another cycle on this earth. So that's some of the earth's energy. Another thing to think about is like taking root. We take root in the soil. We take root just in that darkness. So if you think about like what the roots do, the roots of a plant, and we ourselves kind of have energetic roots, that the roots go down deep into the earth and they anchor to the earth and they help keep a plant in place. But there is no sunshine for these roots if you're doing planting right, I guess. If you're doing that topsy-turvy tomato planting, then maybe I'm wrong. But like if for your average garden, your roots go into the ground and they don't see any sun, but they have their own, I guess, responsibility to the plant. And that's to take those roots, dig them deep into the ground and prepare for the transformation that's going to happen. So if you've ever, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, we did this experiment in grade school where we had a Ziploc bag with a wet paper towel and we stapled across the paper towel. Like we stapled the paper towel into the Ziploc bag and we placed a lima bean in it. And we were able to watch the lima bean roots go between the staples down and then like the sprouts come up. And that's kind of what we're doing. Like the roots have to come down first into the deep, dark ground in order for the plant to come up and blossom in the spring. So that's kind of what we want to focus on at this time of the year. Okay. Wine is very necessary. It's been a day. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like everybody, this is a little bit of an aside, but I don't know about you, but like everything's been crazy. I've had like communication problems. Like yesterday was crazy for me. Like it's just been a crazy, crazy week already. And it's only Monday. So I don't know if it's just me, if it's Mercury retrograde, like coming in its little shadow to like get me or whatever. But man, it's been rough. Although I did get an extra taco from Taco Bell accidentally in my bag today. I'm not sure why I shared that. It just made me happy because I've been having a couple bad days. Anyway, so this is what happens when I don't have time like to decompress after work. Okay, so we take root and we prepare for the transformation. Heck yes, Sunday was awful for me. Today sucked for my husband. It's not just you. Yay for taco wins. Thank you. I want that to be like a meme. Yay for taco wins. And tomorrow's Tuesday. That would be perfect. All right. So we're taking root. We're preparing for the transformation that's going to happen. So, that's a nice metaphor and all, but like, what does that freaking mean for us, right? Like, we're not actual plants. So we can align ourselves with this natural energy by making some plans to do some inner work. And when I say making some plans because inner work isn't like always like, I'm bored. I finished binge watching Sabrina on Netflix. I guess I'll do some inner work. Like the important thing, you're going to want to like think about what inner work means for you. That could mean shadow work. That could mean some meditation. That could mean figuring out what your belief system really is and how it's changed and shifted, because beliefs will change and shift as your experience changes and shifts. The more wisdom that you get, your beliefs are kind of based on the experiences that you've had, so, it might be time to rethink that. It's a perfect time to transform your path. And it's really like a good time for planning. So you might feel tired because it is not bright and sunny outside. There is no like sparkling pool calling to you in like 85, 90 degree weather. It's like bleak and yucky, and you just might not feel like doing anything. You might just feel like lighting a fire and drinking some tea or some hot cocoa. Not really doing a lot. And that's okay, because that's like our natural bodies. Like that is what our ancestors weren't like, oh, let me go do all the things outside where I'll freeze to death. Like there's a reason why you feel tired and you don't feel like doing all the things, you don't feel like getting out and, you know, getting crazy. It's because we have all of this like ancestral knowledge and ancestral wisdom that is like, slow down. It is wintertime. It's time for rest and reflection and planning, because in the spring we're going to want to like fly like little birds. It's going to be sunny, and there will be that one day where you're like, holy shit, it's spring. You know, it's been like dark or just like icky. Maybe the light shifts a little bit and you get that warm day. You're like, oh my God, it's spring. So what we want to do is we want to prepare for that amazing spring that you're going to have. So we want to plan, and it's a good time to decide how you might want to transform your path. So what I mean by this is, like, think about where your path is right now. How are you doing on your spiritual path and practices? Are you where you want to be? Are you doing what you want to be doing? Or when you go to bed at night, do you think, oh, I should have done this and that today? Oh, I told myself I was going to meditate today and I didn't do it. I'm going to tomorrow, after I clean the bathroom and do all my laundry and sweep my floor and make sure everything's amazing, and then I'm going to do some inner work. That's not always the best. It's really important that you kind of plan and plot some time to work on yourself and work on your path and like what you want that to look like. So my suggestion to you and to myself, because, you know, I would love to pretend that I am this sage woman who does everything every day and I have the perfect spiritual life and I can be your guru, but that is bullshit and I am not that person. I struggle with shit just like everybody else, you know. Like, I hadn't done deity devotional offerings in a really long time, and then just one time, if you have been putting something off, or you have just like not been doing things for a while, hi Amanda, hi Liz, I didn't see you guys, hi. If you haven't been doing something for a while, just do one thing, take one action. So my patron goddess is Aphrodite. There's her shrine back there. So what I did, and I haven't done it in probably months, I mean, I do a little bit here and there, but I like to buy her a golden apple and give it to her as part of a devotional offering. And I hadn't done that in a really long time. So I made the decision that I needed to do it. So I went out and I bought her a golden apple and I gave it to her as an offering. And I just felt like not only the energy like in the room shifting, but I felt like my internal energy shifting, because I was clicking, I was aligning with the path that I want to walk. So think about what you're doing in your path right now that is working, that you're loving, and think about what it is that you want to happen, what you want it to look like. Because, you know, it's easy to just go day by day and I'm just going to do whatever calls to me whenever it calls to me. And that's great. If that's your path, that's amazing. If it's working for you, if you're able to integrate it into your regular life, if you have time to do everything and it's not hard for you, that's amazing. And that is great. And I am super, super happy for you. But for a lot of us, it's not easy. It's not easy for us to balance all of that. And that's kind of where this darkest part of the year comes in. We have this amazing opportunity for introspection, because our natural body energy is like hibernation, like Liz said. It is getting down, being like dark and deep and rooted, and like pushing away the dirt so that we can bury ourselves in it, so we can be reborn in the spring. So we have this natural feeling of not wanting to do all the things, and instead of fighting against that, and of course you probably still want to celebrate the solstice, and you might still want to do your moon rituals, but on a day-to-day basis, it's not likely that you're going to feel super, unless winter's your jam. For some people, winter's their jam, but for most of us, you know, we slow down. We are happy. You know, it takes a little bit of a transition to be happy with the darkness coming earlier. But once we can embrace that and we can align our energy with that, like that is an amazing opportunity to plan our path, to plan the changes that we want to see in our path and how we're going to make those changes. So, like, what do you do on your path right now? What is working? And then what do you want to add in? Like, what is the next step? How do you up level your path? Like, what will like take you a little bit further? It might be out of your comfort zone also, but think about what it is that you want to do that you're not doing. And then think about how you're going to start integrating it into your life. And that doesn't mean you have to integrate it tomorrow. Like I said, this is a slow energy. It is a sleepy sort of, calm, like grounded energy that's happening right now. So it's not like, oh my gosh, I need to start doing this tomorrow. Unless you really feel like that's something that you want to do, then heck yeah, do it tomorrow. But don't put a lot of undue pressure on yourself to do all the things in the wintertime. And think about making plans for the spring. I do have a freebie thing, and I'm going to link it right now. So please give me a second because I'm opening up another window. Because I want to give you the link to it. It's just a freebie that I created that might help you if you're one of the people who find that it's difficult to make time and space for your practice. So I'm going to go ahead. I have a freebie called Making Space for Your Spiritual Practice. So I'm way more alive in the dark ones. That's great. Like at some point, like in the beginning of February is when I start waking up. But I feel as though part of it, for me at least, is the stress of the holidays. There's always financial pressures and stress, familial pressures and stress. If you work like a regular day job, you might have like end of the year numbers that you're trying to hit. You've got people out for vacation, so you're doing not only your job, but other people's jobs. It's the end of the year is really stressful. So make sure you're not putting too much pressure on yourself. So again, it's a great time for inner work, making plans. It's time for personal change and alchemy. So if you have some changes that you want to make, if you have done some contemplation and you want to make some personal changes in your life, whether that's, I don't know, like diet or decluttering your house or changing the way your lifestyle is or minimalistic or reorganizing, if you're looking for some big personal change, this is a good time to like start planting the seeds. So that might mean making like lists of special holiday anxiety. Exactly right. Jeez. You might want to start making lists of what like little steps you can do to start making those changes. And go, if you feel called, go ahead and start that. But make sure that you're honoring how you're actually feeling and how your energy is actually feeling. Check in with yourself, check in with your body, check in with your energy. Make sure you're practicing adequate self-care. So it's a good time to like plant the seeds of any changes that you want to have coming up in the new year. It's also a really good time to strengthen communication with the gods. So if you are not like an atheist or agnostic, pagan or witch or whatever, and you believe in the gods and you want to start communicating more with the gods, choose a goddess, hopefully a goddess will choose you, etc. It's a great time to do that because again, we're feeling like less active and less external stuff and more internal stuff. So, and that's where like that deity communication can take place. So if you're new to like deity work and deity communication, I have a blog post. I have everything today, I guess. Let me find that real quick. I have a tiny baby blog series. It's only 3. It's pretty short. It's like 3 blogs, but you know, it will kind of give you a kind of a jumping off place to start, like, you know, working with deity, finding the deity that might help you, or you might want to communicate with. If you have never done anything like that, this little blog series is a good blog series for you. It takes like what? It takes, oh my gosh, Ivy. I'm so tired today, sorry. It will take you through, you know, why we might choose a goddess to work with and how we can contact a goddess and how to create a practice. So, and then if this is your jam, I have a book that is going to be coming out. I'm thinking it's been pushed back to January. So I have a deity devotional journal book that I'm going to make available in like regular, like a print version, as well as a printable version, an e-version that is going to really help with this. So if this is your jam, but I'm going to talk more about that when I get closer to actually launching it. It's with my designer right now. So, but it's a really good time to really start working with deity and really start your, like, any contemplation work, any meditation work, anything that you kind of put on the back burner because you've been so busy doing other things. Now it's time to slow down. It's time to, like, bury yourself in, like, this rich, deep soil so that you will be ready to blossom and bloom in spring. So it's a good time. Again, it's a good time for planning. As a wrap up, let me wrap it up. So when I talk about the darkest part of the year, I'm talking about not just up until around the winter solstice, but this whole winter time where the sky is darker, where we don't have the sun shining as much and it's cooler and colder and we don't want to, like, do all the things. And then the earth's power flow is getting ready for sleep. It's hibernation. We're, like, taking root so that we can bloom in the spring. And then we align ourselves with that energy by doing inner work, using, like, that time to plan, to work on transforming our paths for personal change and alchemy, and, like, to strengthen communications with the gods. So, oh God, I'm so glad that you like them, Meg. So that is what I mean by deepening into the dark part of the year. Like, I love the word deepening. It makes me feel like getting into the earth, like the womb of the mother, like, just deepening and getting like deep and being surrounded by amazing things that will help you grow. And that's how I see this part of the year. So that's it. The end. If you have any questions, you can always message me, or you can tag me in a comment as usual, because I'm here all the time. That's it. So I hope you guys go forth and take this information and start planning the transformation of your path and aligning yourself with this amazing time of slower energy. And that's it. And I hope for everybody who is in the US, you're welcome, Meg, that you have an amazing Thanksgiving. Like, it's like a very special, thankful Thursday this week. And that you have just a lovely, lovely holiday. I hope everybody has a 4-day weekend. I have a 5-day because I took off Monday. But I just hope that everybody has just a great time and a great holiday and can just find some time to, even if this isn't for you, even if not all of the words I'm saying, like, are resonating with you, but just take some time to really think about it and think about what you could do to kind of transform your path and align yourself with this awesome, slow, cool Mother Earth energy. All right. I will talk to you soon. Okay. Bye.